Ghost Stories episode 6. Wiz Productions back there reminded me that it is 6, right?
It is 6. Wow, that's crazy.
This will be a little bit of a shortened episode. Mr. Losak over here has got to get to his next event. This does work out though. Hey, this does work out, right? Perfect timing. There was just a post put up, I think by Access Baseball, about they went and saw Adelphi, end of fall stuff. Mm-hmm. We had a bunch of kids. Coach, why does Adelphi have kids throwing 91, 92, 93? Because you're listening to us, but you're not hearing us yet. And this podcast is about that. We want people to hear us. Don't just listen, hear us.
Why isn't that kid at Vanderbilt?
Why? There's a kid at Clemson throwing 89. That kid at Adelphi throwing 94. There are so many variables and levels to why that is, right? Yeah. Maybe academics. Maybe they want to stay close to home. Maybe, as Mr. Losak here will kind of let us know, kids develop and people develop at different times, right? Maybe they can't spin it. Maybe they can't control the strike zone. Mm-hmm. But let's kind of go right at it. Hard-hitting question. Pumped to have you on. Shout out to Monty. I think this might be the one podcast Monty watches just for you. But you went from, and you made a joke, but I don't know if it's a joke, 125 pounds, your junior year?
That's crazy.
Senior year of high school.
That's crazy.
Say it loud. You were 125 pounds, lefty, senior year of high school at Calhoun, hit or miss guy. Yeah, you had moments.
You were the ace there, right, that senior year?
How hard were you throwing then?
My senior year, I was throwing 80 to 82.
82 lefty. Yeah. Projectable, right?
Getting outs, bulldogs.
18 for B1 and had some really good events, all that good stuff. I don't even care. This is going to be one of those rare ones. I don't care about the process. We go to Oneonta. You walk in at what weight? What did you walk in at?
125
So
pounds.
still 125 pounds. Let's do it. So 125 pound freshman, and you just said it off air. You were borderline almost cut as a freshman. So walk us through, dude. Like, how did the next 2, 3, 4 years all kind of come together?
So when I was a freshman, I was walking in there, a 17-year-old kid with grown adults.
Right.
And I'm thinking, wow, I need to get from where I am right now to where all of these people are.
Sure.
We had one guy get scouted by the Reds.
But this is Oneonta. This is Division 3. What do you mean? Scouted by the Reds?
Yeah.
You can't play Division 3 baseball, get scouted by the Reds? What are you talking about?
And you went to Division 3 and you thought it would be easy, or?
I had to be realistic with myself,
Yeah.
and I knew I wasn't going to a Division I school. I had an offer, but I didn't want to sit on the bench for 4 years and then just get to play 1 year. I wanted to come in and be an impact player, and getting in there, I wasn't, and I understood that very early.
And a lot of people think playing Division 3, they're going to go there and they're going to dominate. They
Right.
think they're playing like
And
club baseball.
100%. And by the way, just even that, there's some really good club baseball out there.
Oh, yeah.
And, one of the things, I just had a meeting earlier tonight, and I was reminding people with this whole transfer portal thing, and just to go sideways for a second, people just say, hey, I'm going to go to this school because they gave me an offer. I'm going to put up numbers. I'm going to transfer. Why, in God's name, do you think you're going to put up numbers as a freshman at any level?
Nothing's guaranteed.
Man.
You have to work your ass off
Throwing
regardless.
So that was
your
a
freshman
great
year.
question. So your freshman year, you walk into Oneonta, and you realize, wow, these are grown men, right? I have to do a lot of work for this. Yeah, what was the number 1 and 2 doing up there when you were a freshman? What did they look
90, and then the next hardest thrower was probably 86.
Okay, cool. So you had guy throwing 90, guy throwing 86. So now you walk in there, you got a reality check. Okay, it's time to go. Take us through. How does the process work for you now?
So I had a moment on our practice field with my coach where I broke down because I knew how much better I could be, and I knew that I needed to really put the work in if I wanted to be the player that they scouted.
Yep.
So for the next 2 or 3 years, I literally lived in class, in the gym, and the dining hall. That's it. Those 3 things.
And that's a great learning lesson, because why didn't you do that in high school?
Yeah.
Nobody was in the gym in high school. Nowadays, you see everybody's in the gym, everybody's working out,
Probably because of stories like you, which is cool.
And you pitched well in high school, right?
Yep.
So did you ever think you had to take that next step, pushing yourself?
I didn't know what the next step was.
Yes, exactly.
And there's no metrics
And that's
back
why
then
we're
either.
here, because we have to let the kids know that the next step at Division 3, Division 2, it's
a big
very,
one.
very hard.
Yeah,
it's a big step.
Especially when we go to 34 in a year and a half. It's a different story for different people.
Because we hear a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to be Division 1." Yeah.
I want to
We'll
say
see in 2 years.
I want to say that I had about a 9-week workout program in the gym that I followed like it was the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be wake up. Oh, hey, you want to go get food? No, I have to go to the gym first. hey, you want to do this after class? No, I got to go to the gym. I got to go eat. I got to do this. I was eating.
How important was your routine just to get, you know, going through college and that whole routine?
If I didn't have a routine, I never would have been successful. And by the time it was my senior year and my 5th year, I was our ace. And to go from almost being cut at a Division III school to becoming the ace, going from 81, 82 my freshman year to by the time I graduated in my 5th year, throwing 93,
that's
huge,
a big jump.
It's a big number too.
And
Plus
my
12.
weight, I went from 125 pounds to the time I graduated, 215 pounds.
Match equals
It's
gas.
crazy.
90 pounds.
90
and,
pounds.
And I mean,
3 years.
the majority of it's good weight. The majority of it's earned weight. It wasn't necessarily, oh, hey, I was a late bloomer. I mean, you were never like short. So it was just, hey, you put on weight and you put the work in order to see a jump from 81, 82 to 92, 93, 94.
You trusted the development, which is outstanding.
And how fast,
which a lot of, I think, going back to the Twitter post with Access Baseball,
yeah.
development's huge. We all know that. And, you know, every kid thinks that, you know, throwing 90 mile an hour is obviously, you know, it's the goal sometimes to get your name out there and stuff like that, to go to college.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you have to start throwing 90.
Right.
You know, there's so many opportunities out there. Like you're saying, going Division III route, or, you know, if you started the Division I route, you know, you can end up at the same place at the end of your career, playing professional baseball, you know, doing whatever you can.
Higher. You end up higher.
And
There's
it
so
doesn't
many.
happen
There's
overnight.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, having a routine is so important.
And what do you think your top velo would have been if you didn't put in that work in the weight room?
Same thing, probably maybe 83.
He also might not know because he might have got cut.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And my thing was that I always put in that work because as a kid, everybody has that dream. I want to go pro. And you have all these negative things and people telling you, no, you're never going to do that. I ended up doing that.
Yeah.
I put in all that work myself, and I went to...
So the reality check of going to Oneonta put you in the right direction.
So, all right. Now, you go to Oneonta. We understand the weight gain. We understand the development. Dude, as corny as it sounds, I'm proud of you. Like, that's awesome. Like, that's really, really cool to see the kid that you were at Calhoun, this goofy Gumby kid that's super stretchy and all that kind of. So all of a sudden, like, yo, you're a grown man. And I remember doing a video for you at Eisenhower with a gun and be like, yo, this gun saying 91 a ton of times. This is crazy. Bro, I remember, like, hoping you would hit 80, right? That's really, really cool. And that's part of the loyalty and part of the family that we cherish. I do have a question. And this is – I should have done a better job prepping you for this question, but I like this. This is raw right here. I genuinely don't care what your answer is. If it is now, Mike, and you're at Oneonta, you go there at 81, 82, junior year, senior year, 91, 92, do you go into the portal and go finish your career as a Division I pitcher?
No.
You're and why?
I found who I was at Oneonta. I found my family at Oneonta. I grew as a person there, and there wouldn't be any amount of money that you could give me to make me go to a school that's going to put me on a TV or do anything like that. When I start something, I like to finish it. And when my coach called me, you know, for my 5th year, he's like, hey, like, you don't want to come back in the fall, just come play in the spring. I said,
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was crazy when you
Cool
were telling. I remember that
I was
clearly.
fully ready to take the next step and
So
start
you
getting
didn't
ready.
do school in the fall, and you just showed up for winter
Showed up.
workouts?
Yeah,
Gangster.
when
It's kind of savage.
When I got there, all my teammates were like, "Oh, what are you, the coach now?" I said, "No, guys, I'm playing another
The
year."
private jet landed right in the middle.
Yeah. Love that.
So, and it's crazy, like, to think about where I was at 17 at Calhoun, thinking, okay, maybe I can go to college and be successful. But, you know, most of the time, most of my life, I was the big fish in the little pond.
Yeah. Right. So you're a we over I guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why do you think that became your upbringing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, growing up, it was always, okay, what can I do to make the team better? Now, as a pitcher, I never wanted to come out of a game, right? And all my coaches understood that, everybody.
For sure.
But, like, I knew I wasn't that good of a hitter, but what I did know how to do was bunt. So if the coach said, hey, come off the bench and bunt, done.
Contribute.
No question about it. Contribute.
Yeah.
And that's what we do a great job at B1.
Yeah.
We teach that early on.
Yep.
So when they get to college, like your post, they're ready.
And
they know how to face adversity.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, man. And like you brought up, you know, going into the transfer portal, there's so many things going on these days, especially with NIL. And I'm not sure if you guys saw like the Ashton Genty kind of post. You know, there's so many factors that go into your next decision. But, you know, credit to you of just like, you know, riding with the true guys who brought you to where you were. I think that's really important. I think a lot of kids of ours need to know, you know, you need to have a coach that trusts in you and trust goes such a long way in this industry.
And the next step is unknown.
Unknown.
Because you
bro.
transfer
Well
to
said.
Division One, how many innings you to get, you don't know.
Exactly.
If your first 6 batters are out of the zone, and then your next, now all of a sudden you're in your head, and your next outing isn't great either.
Bye-bye.
That's it. And
Right.
what did you just leave? Did you really just leave?
Yeah.
Did you actually better your opportunity? No. And so now let's finish this up, right? So phenomenal end of your career. Again, couldn't be more proud of you, man. B1 through and through, like loyalty, family, all of that. How did the pro situation happen?
So that was really interesting. I got it during COVID. Right before that, there was supposed to be a scout from the Reds and the Pirates to come look at me. COVID happened, unfortunately, and that all fell through. And to really come back after that and put that work in to get back to where I was, because during COVID I fell apart.
Sure.
I didn't do anything.
You weren't alone.
No.
Yeah.
So to get back to up there, 91 to 93, and going to an indie ball tryout in Florida, and then having a few conversations.
Feels like yesterday.
I know,
I
right?
remember this.
Yeah, for real.
I was in here training
Yes,
a week
yeah,
before I
remember
left, and I went down to the tryout and I threw really well. After the first day, that two coaches came up to me and they're like, "Hey, like we want to see you throw again tomorrow." I'm like, "Okay." I come back tomorrow. Hey, you're at 93 right now. I'm like,
Sweet.
"Whoa!" And that's the hardest I'd ever thrown.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like 93. So in that moment, I said to myself, the little kid in me is about to go sign a pro contract.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Third day I came back, I threw just for fun that day to play around with some stuff. I had 2 contract offers. I ended up signing. And the rest,
Not a big deal.
Man, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
And you get all
unbelievable.
those flashbacks from when you're a freshman on campus saying, I almost get cut, and then you trust the process.
Yeah.
You get in the gym, you become more physical, you take your nutrition seriously, your schoolwork, all that seriously, and if you really dedicate yourself, man, anything's possible.
And you never ran, bro. And that's like people run now. No, but for real, not that kind of run. You weren't a cardio guy.
He didn't run Losak definitely didn't run
Oh no, I saw
Not pitchers. Pitchers don't do cardio. Pitchers are not good with cardio.
I saw in the gym just being a meathead throwing weight.
Deadlifts with sit
I mean, phenomenal. Well, good pull right there. I generally meant you didn't run
Stu.
from a challenge. You
Yeah.
didn't
Put Stu in there.
Yeah, true. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
You didn't run from a challenge. You didn't run to a better situation. You didn't take the easy road and say, if I get cut for money after my freshman year, I'll go to SUNY New Paltz, or I'll go to another school comparable and put a chip on my shoulder. You just said, no, this is my path. This is what I want to do. And you set a goal and you achieved it. And it sounds corny. It also sounds simple. It's neither. It is not easy.
No.
Everyone has a different route. And hey, I ended up not even playing pro ball. I had a contract offer from Bridgeport Bluefish. I envy you for taking that jump and doing it. Part of me will always regret maybe not doing something like that. But you played pro ball, and these people need to listen. They need to hear us. When don't
Division 3 pitcher played pro
Division
ball.
3 pitcher.
I didn't
played
think that
pro
was
ball.
possible.
Right, and not only is it possible, it's gonna be the norm soon, guys.
Yeah.
With D1 schools getting cut down to 34, which is what? Just let's all call it 1 + 1 = 2. You get now all of a sudden the trickle down effect.
Yeah.
So now D2 schools get a ton of those D1 kids that maybe weren't fully developed yet. They will be by the time they're sophomore.
They're
junior
dudes.
year.
They're dudes.
These, you know what I mean? Go
but
ahead.
while you're talking about that, it was the same thing with pro ball. You had all those minor league teams
Sure.
cut,
Yep.
and then all those guys filtered into the indie ball system.
Yep.
And
That's
We
all
know.
I
Hey, listen. Like
Yeah.
again, the Long Island Ducks have had a ton of. Daniel Murphy played for Long Island Ducks.
Dontrell Willis.
Dude,
Yeah,
D-Train.
D-Train,
Talking about
Jackie
Pete-
Bradley, no?
Hey,
Yes.
yeah, Jackie
Right?
Bradley
Yep.
Jr.
Yep.
Yeah, this year.
Listen, by the way, just on it, I don't care. Petey Bukovich will have to get back to New York.
Yes.
We need D-Train and Long Island Ducks and Los Angeles Dodgers getting drafted out.
Yeah.
Dude, Petey Bukovich needs to be on here. Sorry, that's a
Yeah.
complete side note, but that's phenomenal because
Definitely
D-Train is
watching.
phenomenal. Listen, Mikey, bro, proud of you, man. It's phenomenal to see you at this stage. We had, listen, B1 people that are gonna be watching know you as a really like intense and committed coach. But it all did stem from your loyalty and all that, and that's what we're about, dude. We're about that. We don't run from challenges; we attack challenges. And man, I appreciate you, dog. All right,
Losak.
go do your thing.
Sir, get to
All right,
work.
thanks, guys.
Episode 6, Wiz Prod. Appreciate you, bro.